Hello once again, Star Wars and Unboxing fans. Welcome to another episode of Darth Tuba's Star Wars Unboxing Show. I'm your host, Darth Tuba. Today, I'm going to start what I'm hoping to be a regular series of videos that I haven't quite come up with a title yet, but I think but basically what it's going to be is a Sideshow / Hot Toys retrospective review of some of their figures. If you look back in some of my videos, there was a recent video where I actually purchased the Sideshow big coffee table book, and it had a lot of beautiful photos. And I wanted it to, I was looking through that, and I thought to myself, I have a lot of these figures. I am not a completist with the Sideshow or Hot Toys by any means. They're very expensive, so I kind of pick and choose which figures that I prefer to get. And I have picked up quite a few, though, over the course of I think they have now been 15, 17 years. They've been creating high-end Star Wars collectibles. And the items that I generally stick with are the 12-inch, high-end collectible action figure line. So I decided I would try kind of doing a little review, of 2 figures at a time. And as I said, I don't have an unlimited amount, but I do have quite a few, and I don't think I want to stick to just one, because they're not going to take very long. I'm not going to get into the weeds with so many all the different points of articulations and things of that nature, but I just wanted to kind of feature them and show what they are, what they look like. And maybe for those of you that are late into the collecting game and you might want to try to find this on a secondary market, take a look at it, take a look at what we've got, and maybe you'll decide, yes, I think that's something I want, or no, maybe that's not something I want. So I thought I would start with pretty much the very first figure that was released. It was released in 2005, and it was a Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight figure. So this is the figure as it was released. Now, let me just see if I can raise I'm using like a music stand here. There we go. All right. Perfect. I'll move them over like that. All right. So, as I said, I have quite a few of these figures, and I'll talk a lot about them as we get through them. But I will say this. These figures are among the types of figures that that included multiple accessories. Those accessories came in this really nice, attractive box, but I don't have those boxes readily available. I do have them, but they're in storage. So I do not have the ability right now to show you all of the different pieces. I do believe the earlier figures had less accessories. I believe this figure pretty much came with that blaster that he force grabbed out of one of Jabba's henchmen's hands. And that's among the only things that it came with. There might be a few there might be some more hand options. If you've seen Sideshow, you've seen that. But so let's just kind of make him the focus here. I'm going to talk behind him. So as you can see, all right, you've got a really nice likeness of Luke. It's not that photoreal Luke Skywalker figure that we are now getting in both Black Series and the Hot Toys brand has started creating very, very, very movie accurate, almost scary how well. This is like the step before that. It was very accurate, far more superior than the collector series Luke Skywalker action figures that we were getting, not just in terms of face, but in terms of body and that kind of thing. So comes with the brown cloak, which I will remove. Takes pretty easy, just comes right off. And then you can see here it has its comes with the tunic, and then the tunic is removable, and then you can just have the outfit itself. I will say that some of my figures that have not, this particular figure has been on display in an outside display case setting. Ooh, speaking of something there fell. I have a display case here. I have some IKEA display cases that I generally put the figures in. This is one figure among maybe about 4 or 5 that I put in a Jabba's palace kind of setting. And as a result, he does have some slight dirt and grime on his, and mold, sorry to say, on his back, on his lap. And, but again, mostly just brushing it off it's not something permanent. It's just something that you got to be careful of if you put these items on display and they're not in a sealed case. Even something that just has a glass door to just keep out too much dust and excessive amounts of moisture. So, but his overall look is quite good, quite stunning. He's got the. I do think that I'm a little bit unhappy with the quality of not the quality, but the fabric that was made for the tunic. Now, if you look at the robe up close, a lot of times they utilize a very similar fabric than what the original robe was made with. Okay, they try to find or source. If not, sometimes you can't you can't cut a piece of something that normally has weight and flow on a life-size costume and cut it down to a little tiny square and sew it into a thing and expect it to have the same flow. So they obviously have to have a little bit of play and a little bit of difference because it's such a small figure comparatively to life size. So as a result, you are dealing with some give and take. They've improved that with future figures, but as far as this one is concerned, I wasn't too happy with the tunic. So as far as the rest of him is concerned, though, I think the rest of it looks pretty good, pretty snazzy. Comes with his lightsaber. I will say you'll notice he looks like he's gripping a lot of his lightsaber. I will tell you that the hilt of the lightsaber actually broke off. Okay, as I said, this is a displayable figure, and I will say that when it comes to some of the accessories and some of the hard plastics that Sideshow has released over the years, they have had a little wear and tear to happen to them, and they did not last. I'm sorry to say. There have been several things that I've purchased from them that just weren't, they just weren't working really well. So sadly, I don't know where that is. It's probably sitting on the ground near the display somewhere. And if I ever find it, I will try to put it together. There may actually be a second hilt that came with the toy, and if I can put that on there, I will. But right now, he's just a display piece, so it's not a problem. And there he is. And as I said, his face, it's not real hair, of course. It's not anything like that. And we're not doing G.I. Joe thing. And I don't think, this is a fully head sculpted hair. So it's not like I have another at Luke that you can actually take the hair off and adjust the position of his eyes. Again, I think that is an early Hot Toys item. So you can see the Sideshow thing. It does come with a nice stand. It says the year on it, which is very helpful, 2005. So as I said, 17 years, 2005, 15, 16, 15, 17 years. So that's pretty cool that it has that. So a nice figure overall. A great start to the Sideshow line. Now, shortly after that, and I'm not giving you, I also want to point out his lightsaber has slightly bent. Okay, you can kind of see it kind of curved there a little bit at the end. Again, some of this, folks, is just when you buy plastic, plastic tends to degrade over time. And it depends on how it's being displayed and how much light and heat and moisture it gets exposed to. So keep that in mind. Okay, and then the next one we're going to talk about, and we're going to shift, in terms of years that the figure came out, it's the same year. But in terms of storyline, we're going to shift several decades ahead to the order of release and several decades behind in order of storyline. And that is this awesome fellow right here, the Revenge of the Sith, Obi Wan Kenobi action figure. And this one, I have to tell you, truly excited me when it came out because I just absolutely adored the look of Obi Wan, Ewan McGregor's character in Revenge of the Sith. I thought it was clean. It was like Obi-Wan in his prime, and they actually showed that with that entire epic volcanic lightsaber duel between him and Darth Vader / Anakin Skywalker, and it was just a really cool scene, and it lasted like 20 minutes, so it was an incredible additive to the Star Wars storytelling. Now, obviously, he has a very similar fabric kind of robe, although I do love this, like his head. If you try to put his, You know, the Sideshow robes come with this nice little sewn in kind of, you know, bendable metal rod, so you can kind of position it, which is nice. But you don't really see Obi Wan walking around like this, and it doesn't really stick back that much, right? So I tend to just kind of force it, like fold it back like that, and that's generally how we know him. And you just got to be careful with his corners here, and you can kind of tuck them in. But there is some play there. So, all right, and give me a second here, and I will remove his robe. I'm gonna take his saber off for a minute. Okay. And unlike Luke, he doesn't have a cloak. He has a full-out Jedi robe, and I would say it's similar in fabric, although the dye is a little darker brown for Luke than it is for Obi Wan. You don't really see too much of this robe in the movie. I think he's just wearing it right before he takes it off to fight Anakin. Okay, and there you see now. Here is an example of a really good example of the awesomeness of fabric. The tunic that Ewan McGregor wore is absolutely beautiful. It just has this beautiful look to it, this beautiful feel, or it looks like it would have a beautiful feel to it because it had like a texture to it that was quite awesome. And I guess this came out the same year as Luke, so I guess when it came to that, they were able to do a better job of mimicking the cloak that Obi-Wan was wearing. So, and even his pants, if you look closely, even his trousers have a little bit of a pattern to them, like Obi-Wan's does. He's got the awesome boots, and just a fantastic figure. Now, in terms of his, lower that a little bit. In terms of his face, let's get him a little. I thought he did a good job considering it was not a photoreal sculpt. It was just a sculpt. Okay, but I thought they did a nice job, you know, setting that up. Maybe just a little bit, could have used a little bit more gray. I felt if you look closely, I don't know if it comes out. I don't know if it comes out on the thing. There's a little bit of gray on his sideburns there. Probably could have used a little more. You know, I think maybe the character, you know, had grayed a little bit more by the time the war ended. So pretty good, you know, overall. But yeah, I was happy with it. I mean, it's just great. All of his little the detail that Sideshow does. Obviously, Luke didn't have a lot of this other than his saber and the optional holding pistol. But he has food capsules. He has the belt pockets one. And I gotta say, I like in Star Wars how they don't have pockets. Instead, they have pouches that you fit on your belt. And I think that's a cool little, I would say, feature that exists in Star Wars. So he has 1, 2, 3, 4 pouches, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, they all open up. And I think, if I'm also not mistaken, this one might actually have something on the inside. I'm trying to open it, but that's the only thing. Again, not wanting to break. Okay, no, this one doesn't. All right, now there may be. It looks like it could fit something. It might come with his breather that Episode 1 Obi-Wan used to go swimming in Naboo and go underwater. I'm not mistaken, but it might have come with that. I opted to leave it in the box because I knew that the more little items that you put on this thing and display, the better chance you have of losing them. And don't get me wrong, I purchased this in 2005. I think I've proven my loyalty to the toy brand and loyalty to the figure and wanting to have it on display and not necessarily caring much about selling it. But someday this figure will end up in another collector's hands, and I would like them to have, you know, a complete figure. His lightsaber is in perfect shape. It has just been put on display like this, so that one lasted. I don't know what the deal was with Luke, but you know, these figures that are loose, even the ones on display. Now, I will say this one was on display in that display case. You can see I had to open it up. That's why my little Sith trooper there is sitting on the ground. He normally isn't there. He would go in this case right here. So that's where Obi-Wan came from. So overall, fantastic figure, great rendition of a great character from a great scene and great movie. I know a lot of people, I am a fan of all the prequels, but a lot of people are not too kind to the prequels, but they tend to have a better, softer spot for Revenge of the Sith, simply because that's the story they wanted to see. That's the story they wanted to see the fall of Anakin becoming Darth Vader, fighting Obi Wan, and I think Lucasfilm delivered that with spades. So this is a very popular character, and I think it's really cool. So you have Obi Wan Kenobi. I'm sorry, yeah, that's right, Obi Wan Kenobi hasn't gone by Ben yet, and then you have Luke Skywalker, Jedi Knight and friend of Captain Solo. So an overall really good start to this. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please leave comments if you want me to do any other. I mean, I have, like I said, this could probably, I'm not replacing the unboxing. I will continue to do unboxings. It's just right now there hasn't been anything new in, and I really don't have any older items that I'm willing to unbox right now that are still in their cards or boxes. So I'm just kind of waiting for things to arrive that I've ordered, and we can get that going. So please like, subscribe, hit the notification, do all that jazz. Check me out on Instagram and Twitter at Darth Tuba Star Wars Unboxing Show, or this is the show page on Facebook. Also check out my War of the Stars podcast, where I chat up the wars with John Martali, and you can get that wherever podcasts are dropped. Until next time, may the Force and the toys be with you.